Alrighty, welcome back to round two of MG Blaze versus 100 Weebs. Alongside me, I have random minion caster, and I am
Yeah,
Angelic Poro.
yeah, and we are back, and it looks like 100 Weeb's gonna opt to pick red side again this game. It looks like so. Yeah, MG Blaze, we're already into picks and bans here. MG Blaze is gonna go with a Rakan ban, Ornn ban, and Silas ban, so fairly similar to the last game. 100 Weeb's gonna keep with their mid lane targets here. Cassiopeia, Syndra, Vladimir are gonna be the bans coming out here, and we have confirmed it will be Ajax in the top lane for 100 Weebs this game. Everything else will remain the same. So first pick here, MG Blaze is going to first pick that MF. Once again, just blind picking. 100 Weeb is going to go with the Leona, but this time maybe not the Draven. They are hovering. They have locked in the Kai'Sa, so it'll be a Leona Kai'Sa, not liking the immobility of Draven the last game. And MG Blaze content to keep their draft the same. Going to go with the Nautilus pick second and Maokai third once again. So identical pick ban so far on MG Blaze.
Right, for MG Blaze, I'm quite liking their picks for Phase 1. They really haven't changed anything since Maokai just did so well last game, and Nautilus and Misfortune just have a lot of PO and damage, regardless if it's early game or not. But however, on 100 Weeb side now, we see a Jax, which is something we haven't seen much of from Ajax.
Ajax has played it once or twice in the league, has had really good showings on it, but I don't believe he's played it into the Maokai yet, so we'll have to see how that works out. Maokai's, a lot of his damage is not auto-attack based, so we'll have to see if Jax can do well into it, despite his Counter-Strike not having the impact it might have in other lanes. Now, we do see the rest of the bans coming up for 100 Weebs. They do ban the Jarvan and Sejuani, so instead of the 5 mid, this time they're looking to try and pinch CPEC a little bit, and I believe CPEC is pretty much solely Sejuani this season thus far. So definitely a very good pick, and they don't want that J4 either. The lockdown into the bullet time was an absolute problem. 400 Weeps last time. MG Play is going to go with a Poppy band, and the last band there was supposed to be a band. So same as last game, it looks like they were just having some difficulty locking that in. So MG Plays so far still running it back exactly the same way they did last game, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like, it worked so well for them last game. It's up to 100 Weebs this game to adapt to them. In a best of 5, there's no rush to change your picks and bans either. Now we see a Kane coming up for Kappa Crusader. I do believe we did see it last week as well, and it worked extremely well for Kappa. So we'll have to see how it works out this time. And MGB is going to be the one picking up the Zac this time. Going to show Kappa how they think it should be done, and there will be an Orianna as well. So pretty much exactly the same team, except for that one change where J4 was banned and they've replaced it with a Zac.
Well, I do like the Zac a lot better. It definitely gives them a lot more variety in the jungle than just Jarvan, where she just has to go in. Zac definitely have the ability to peel, yet he's able to engage. But however, yeah.
Will give MG Blaze an extremely tanky front line as well. And we do see Puffin locking in the last pick there. And it's going to be that rumble for Puffin that we've seen so frequently this split. And it works well with Leona. We've seen that Solar Flare into Equalizer combo multiple times. Add in the Counter-Strike, add in the knockup from Kane, and suddenly, if you get hit by that Equalizer, you might get locked in there for days.
Right, that Equalizer is just going to do a lot. If they do manage to hit the Solar Flare, the Counter Strike, and then knock up from Kane. If it doesn't happen though, there goes all of 100 Weave's damage if Kai'Sa doesn't get ahead. And if Kai'Sa doesn't get ahead, that's gonna be really, really bad for 100 Weaves towards mid game and early game. Kai'Sa is such a weird champ because if she doesn't get hit, she's gonna basically be behind the entire game, regardless if she has CS or not.
Yeah, and we have seen Dewey run the AP Kai'Sa in the past. This time he's got a Rumble mid, a lot of magic damage. There is some mixed damage coming up the top lane as well. So we have to see if he opts to go AD or AP on that Kai'Sa. But either way, 100 Weebs still looking like they're going to double down into that bot lane on them getting a hit. But I have concerns with this. If they had problems with the Draven, Leona, one of the strongest early game bot lanes you can possibly get, I just have worries about whether or not the Kaiser Leona will get behind as well.
Yeah, the Kaiser and Leona, it's definitely gonna be hard. It's just really hard for Leona to, as we saw from last game, to get behind into the back line, and from then on, it was difficult for Dilly and Sharp Otter just to get back there.
Yeah, on the bright side, though, Kaiser has more mobility, so hopefully Joey will be able to position more easily in these fights, survive a bit longer, and get the damage out. And in the top lane, when we have seen Ajax get his hands on the Jax there, he has performed very, very well, able to bring huge damage into team fights, as well as being an absolute split push monster. And now we did see Dirty Hobo on the Maokai last game did very, very well into the GP, but Jax is an even better split pusher than GP and a better duelist as well on the 1v1. So we have hopes that Ajax will be able to at least put more pressure into the top lane, be able to push out there, and perhaps give 100 Weeps another avenue for pressure.
Who dares defy my will?
And with that, both teams are going to just load onto the rift here. So we will have to wait out the lobby spectate timer here. So we will be taking a short intermission break while we're waiting out the timer, and we'll see you guys back on Summoner's Rift.
Who did this? Who the freak ate my snack pack? No.
Alrighty, welcome back. And now we're in game for game 2 versus MG Blaze versus 100 Weebs. As always, I've been at Jack Portal. Alongside me, I have random minion caster.
Hey everyone, and we are now looking here at a slightly different drop from 100 Weaves. They've mixed it up a little bit. They've got Ajax back in their top lane. They've switched everything except for their support up. Looks like their level 1 plans are also going to be changed from game 1 here. They're not going to focus. They're not going to invade here like they've been known to, which is probably a good adaptation considering how last game went.
Yeah, definitely. They're gonna have to control themselves a lot more this time around. And since last game they didn't do quite so well, and that they didn't have Ajax, so maybe they're just changing the flow of how they were playing compared to last week to this week. It's definitely a good take to have, as they won't make too much mistakes early on.
Yeah, and they also don't have that strong level 1 they did with the Draven Leona last game. So with the Kai'Sa probably just wanting to play a little passively. Kai'Sa strong within her own right, just doesn't have quite the burst that Draven can put down instantaneously. In level 1, that burst is king when you can get CC, when you have limited amount of CC to get down. It looks like they're just gonna opt to go back to the lanes, a bit of a conservative start.
Right, yeah, just gonna super start. Good for Zach. He'll be pretty healthy, and it's gonna work out quite well for him towards the transition phase of early game and mid game. So Kane, being Kane, gonna have to be really aggressive if he wants the red form pretty early on. And now Ajax is getting a low trade, but on the losing side here. And now Dirty Hobo has the advantage.
Bit of a poor trade in the top lane. Jax isn't the strongest in the early game. Does take a bit of time to scale, whereas Maokai on the other hand, level 2 has a lot of damage, especially if he doesn't take these saplings at level 1. His knockup does a lot of damage, and the twisted advance, and beautiful twisted advance.
And that's gonna be a lot of damage now. Now Dirty Hobo doing extremely a lot of damage. Ajax now forced to flash, however, Dirty Hobo is in the area. The flash does come out. Ajax is in a really bad situation, and the passer comes through to take the kill. However, Capital Crusader is now in the area, and now on to Dirty Hobo. However, Dirty Hobo is able to get him off of himself.
And that's the concern always in a Jax Maokai matchup there. The Maokai not an auto attack dependent champion, so Counter Strike limited use. And if you time the twisted advance right, which we saw just there from Dirty Hobo, you can dodge the Counter Strike damage as well. So it's a damage and stun, both not a lot of use against the Maokai.
Yeah, just Maokai just being extremely tanky with that shock in the early games. I'm not sure what Ajax was trying to do there, as he just doesn't quite have that damage output in the early game. And now the hook lands from Wardbox. However, Dilly and Sharp Otter is in a bad situation, but the aftershock is enough to keep Sharp Otter quite healthy.
Yeah, we saw this last game as well. Wardbox landing a lot of hooks really, really well. And on the side of 100 Weebs, they're not turning those fights. Last game, Dilly got hooked early, and that made them unable to trade back because he was too low on health. But this game, they're both full health, and yet they're still not opting for those trades. Sharp Otter is level 3, has the additional resistances, has the stun and the Zenith Blade as well to turn. Top lane though.
That's a low damage, Zach, and now jumping in. Dirty Hobo now gonna try to push him back, and now Ajax getting extremely low, and CPAC is gonna get one for himself, and now Dirty Hobo and Capital Crusaders. Well, Capital Crusaders gonna have to hold this in. And now Dirty Hobo. However, in the bot lane, Wardbox gets a crucial hook, bringing MG Dilly back, and now Wardbox is on the losing side of the trade. Sharp Otter and Dilly, this time good fight around, good trades, but Dilly is gonna be the one to fall. Bubble narrowly escaping his life, and now Sharp Otter is on the wrong side, and Wardbox will pick up one for himself. 2-0 in the bot lane and 1 in the top.
And it looked so good in the bot lane there. Wardbox getting a good hook onto Dilly, but Sharp Otter did what I think was the right move. He re-engaged, used the Zenith Blade, got a bubble lift, stop the rest of the fight from Bubble. They turned it and it was looking so good at first, but I guess that's the concern with Kai'Sa. Early game doesn't have quite as much damage, and if they fight in that Make It Rain, he ends up taking a lot of damage over time.
Ooh, Puffin. Puffin though getting a little low here. Will his rockets be enough, or will he escape? And he lose to see another day for now.
Yeah, so good adaptation from Puffin. The Rumble bit tankier than the Lissandra, has the scrap shield to keep himself a bit healthy there. Also doesn't have the mana resource. Last game we saw Puffin going down quite a few times in that mid lane. The first time he was a little low on mana, also picked a bit of a bad trade, didn't have the tankiness, so good to see that the Rumble will be able to trade back a little bit. But 100 Weeks does have to be careful. They're losing 2 out of 3 of the lanes right now. That bot lane gave a kill over.
Oh, the mid lane though, Puffin's in a bad situation. He's getting extremely low now. The scrap shield comes through. Will he be able to escape? If anything, what will Warbox or Sapix say? Puffin have to blow flash, but he lives one and unable to get a kill secure onto Zyra.
Yeah, very good rotations from CPEC and Wardbox. Wardbox roaming a lot both these games. Last game we also saw him roaming up to mid game. He's doing it quite a bit earlier this game here, but I think it was really necessary. Zyra was going to go down, so even though Puffin had to burn flash there, he was actually doing really well in lane. Was going to get the solo kill onto Zyra if not for that roam to the mid lane there. So at least 100 Weeks has one decently winning lane. He also did manage to force out both summoners from Zyra. Zyra going to use teleport to get back into lane here. And last game we saw Zyra carrying cleanse flash, and Puffin was running teleport, so he had utilities on both sides. But this time we do see the combat summoner coming out onto Puffin, so we can expect to see Puffin continue to win that 1v1 matchup if there isn't jungle pressure. But if CPEC keeps getting those counter ganks off like he has been so far, it's going to be a very different story. And now Kappa Crusader look into that bot lane.
Yeah, Kappa Crusader is gonna get really desperate just to get his form now, and it's already getting quite late for him to get his first or only transformation in the game. And since a lot of action, Kappa Crusader always had to defend top lane, which is pretty bad for Kane usually. And now we see the hook comes in. Now Wardbox is gonna be the one that's gonna be stunned, and now Kappa Crusader is gonna try to get his form. Ignite's gonna take down, but it's not gonna be enough. However, Bubble Lift is gonna keep outputting that damage even though it's a 3v1. And
yeah, very split focus in a way there from 100 Weaves. Kappa Crusader going in hard onto that, but his bot lane not willing to commit with him. They played that conservatively, and that will cost the ultimate from Kane, and they won't get the kill, but that will give them the pressure they need for Dragon at least. So 100 Weaves did get Dragon, the first Dragon last game as well. Looking like they'll be able to pick up the first one, and will be Cloud Drake once again, but this time CPEC on the Zac, and we saw last game Kappa pulling off an amazing drive-by steal on that Zac. He can just jump over and then hit
the equalizer though, Shockwave, Zyra getting lower, and Puffin won't chase. However, Make It Rain, bullet time on the opposite side. Now Zyra has to run, and Zac is the one that actually secures it. And now, however, in the top lane, it's still a stalemate, and now it might be quite a couple of kills across the map. Now Ajax has to flash away to survive, and it looks like in the mid lane they will survive too. However, in the top lane, a flash comes through, and now Ajax, and the little things is just the one that picks up the kill in the end.
Yeah, lots of action across the map here, and like I said, in that bot lane and the dragon fight there, CPEC able to just pick up the dragon as he just walked by there. Great bullet time from Bubble Lift, and you cannot leave an MF unattended. There are tools to stop them. Last game we saw the Lissandra as well and the Zac trap, but they didn't get onto Bubble Lift, and we're starting to see the same problem this game as well. 100 needs to get there.
Kappa Crusader, Dirty Hobo. Dirty Hobo is trying to get it for an execute, however, Puffin will actually be the one to find it. Maokai. No, Ajax in the mid lane. He's going to play really safe here if he's going to try to fight Zyra. Try to bait out Zyra's mana, and now Puffin's back in the mid lane. I don't know what Puffin can do against Zyra at this moment. And now CPEC running away for his life. And Ajax managed to push him off. And they're going to try to look for this Herald now.
Yeah, and they will have the equalizer from Puppin available in the mid lane. They've also got the numbers advantage here. Dirty Hobo, that kill onto him means that he's just coming out of base right now. So 100 Weebs will have the man advantage. You do have to be careful though. We already saw CPEC stealing once. There is a level lead on Kappa though, so they should potentially get this. No, Kappa was forced out. So it's going to be a 3-on-3 fight for this Herald.
This is really bad. Ajax jumps in, equalizer. Oh, the steal comes in from Kane. However, Kane now is inside of Maokai. Now, Capital Crusader getting extremely low. The auto attack from Zard is actually enough to do all the damage. Now, Ajax is gonna be able to get a double kill on the Zag. Now, Puffin's extremely low. Ajax is not afraid to jump back in. Now, Ajax is gonna be able to get a triple kill here.
And I really like the fact they gave that triple kill over to Ajax. I think it was very necessary for them to get Ajax a hit, because you do want Ajax to get a hit so he can handle Dirty Hobo in the 1v1. Puffin's already doing well enough against Zyra. Doesn't need any more of a lead, but bot lane is becoming a liability for 100 leads. Zoe and Chef Otter forced out again.
Oh, I really don't like this Herald though, and now Dirty Hobo is now going to be fighting Ajax here, and Ajax is actually going to be the one to trade back over his own kill and bounty. But not in the process of getting 2 plates for himself, and now it's such a bad trade just for a couple of plates.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know if you initially wanted to have the Eye of the Herald on the Jax there. I suspect Ajax might have been trying to get a ward to hop out to, and ended up dropping the Eye by accident because he was carrying that. We do see the ward in his lane where he tried to get out. So that will cost the Herald. They'll only get 2 plates out of it, nothing more. In fact, bot lane now is probably going to be where the first turret falls. Bubble Lift and Wardbox doing really well for themselves, able to keep applying that pressure and should be able to get that turret even if no one comes here to help.
Oh, death charge coming through. Sharp Otter, Zac coming through. That's not going to happen. Kai'Sa's gonna go down. Now Leona will be the next to fall, and MG Bubble Lift is gonna be like, no, you're not gonna escape this time around, and now you're gonna die and give me your gold.
Yeah, and they were already winning without the aid of the jungle, without any jungle intervention there, but now that CPEC showed up, that's a guaranteed first turret for themselves, and Kappa trying to turn it on his Bubble Lift, but I think he's the one who has to be careful here.
Ooh, now this is gonna be very close. The Smite secures 550 for himself, and now he won't be able to get anyone on the knockabutt. However, the healing is just way too much. Will he be able to live here? Sharpwater's now in the area, but Ajax is getting extremely low, and Capital Crusader gets another one. Killer Instinct comes in through and finds Nautilus. However, not for the trade at top lane, and Ajax will be the one to fall on Weebs.
Yeah, so ultimately looking like a 3-for-2 trade there in favor for MG Blaze. So Weeb's able to at least get a little bit back for themselves, able to pick up that shutdown in the bot lane there, and it was much needed too. So there were bounties on both Bubble Lift and Ward Box, which they managed to pick up on Kappa Crusader, and I think it was Joey was the one who picked up the kill onto Ward Box there. So it will help them at least come back a little bit. They will still be down and will still have to be careful. Now Dragon is coming up, and we do see MG Blaze all just coming back from base, so they will be extremely healthy. Top lane will pick up the second turret of the game for themselves. So Ajax, despite getting the triple kill, still not quite strong enough to handle the 1v1 yet.
Yeah, it's not quite able to, even though he did get a triple kill. And now, however, in the bot side river, there's gonna a lot of action. Teleporters coming through, Equalizer. Now Wardbox has to stop watch here if he wants it so a little longer, but he's gonna get bursted instantly. And now Misfortune is in the bad side of this fight. And now use the blast cone, but however, Bubble Lift will flash and the smite will come through from the Crusader himself.
And that's huge for 100 Weebs. That puts them back into the game. They're only apart by about 1,000 from a much bigger deficit earlier. They did get the dragon, pardon me. They did pick up the Ocean Drake there for themselves. So we'll be even on Drakes as well. And that's what they need to keep doing. They have the Equalizer, they have the choke points, and if they can keep getting those sort of choke point fights, MG Blaze will find it very, very difficult to win those. That being said, Bubble Lift did not really get to participate in that fight, was late to the fight, didn't get the bullet time off, which has been a huge factor in winning the fights thus far. So right now it's kind of a battle between Equalizer and both.
Oh, but that's a lot of action now. Dive is gonna come through. Now Rumble is getting extremely low. However, the same with Leona. Now Kappa Crusader is gonna have to play very carefully and phenomenally if he wants able to do anything. But MG Blaze it does better coordination around the map and is able to get 4-4 with a mid turret.
Yeah, they knew they had the advantage there. They had the bullet time, which they didn't use in the last fight, and they knew all the ultimates were slowed down on the side of 100 weeks, and the equalizer wasn't available yet. I wasn't sure if the solar flare was down as well, so they knew when to push. They managed to get 2 turrets off that. That's huge for MGB. They've cut the map in half now, and that means that 100 weeks is going to lose a lot of pressure and control. They've got no outer turrets remaining, so their vision right now will have to be on point if they want to continue securing these objectives.
Yeah, and the one thing to note that it may not seem a lot of goal difference, but if you consider all the kills and assists coming out throughout this entire game, it really adds up, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and you know, before it really didn't show quite as much, but in that last kill with the turrets as well, it's definitely hugely in favor of MG Blaze right now. We have to see where the distribution of that goal lies as well.
The cancellation, now Jax getting a low hurt here. Now Dirty Hope is running for his life, and now Ajax has to get out of turret range and jump back out.
Yeah, so Ajax will be able to survive again. And right now it looks like he's starting to hit the point where he can come back a little bit. Does have the Merc turrets to cut the damage. But it might be too little, too late, as MG is going to pick up the another Herald here, second Herald of the game, and this time they're going to be able to get their hands. Oh, sorry, it's 100 Weeps picking up another MG Blaze. They will pick up the second Herald for 100 Weeps again, so they will be able to hopefully get a turret because they have yet to get a single turret this game.
Warbucks just getting caught out. It has to use Gargoyle's Depth Charge. Wombo combo. Is this the Wombo combo that they want? It's not going to be a lot. However, a lot of them are very low now. Dirty Hobo in the back line, kill Insect to escape. Dirty Hobo is still running it. Would MG Dilly be able to escape? It's like Hunter and Predator, but however, the Predator is gonna be the one to fall here.
Yeah, and it still shows the strength of 100 Weeps right there. They almost managed to turn and win that fight. Dirty Hobo getting to the fight first changed everything. He managed to catch the backline, force the backline out, and that was a beautiful 3-man shockwave from Zara to start it off, and they still almost lost that fight with a 3-man shockwave and a 5k gold lead right there. So that Rumble pick, I think, is definitely something MG Blaze has to look into and consider whether they want to let that move for Puffin, because right now Puffin is doing a lot for his team.
Oh, the double knockup. Now Kappa Crusader is not able to heal up enough. I'm very interested to see or hear his reasoning why he would go for Death's Dance instead of something like Spirit Visage or Black Cleaver.
I think Kappa right now is just looking to survive the initial burst.
Oh my god! The Sharpwater just getting bursted down now. Puff will be the one next to fall. Using the Ignite, and he's gonna be able to fall in such a short amount of time, which they may or may not chase after Dilly.
Yeah, the arc will mean that Dilly can get activation really quick there, shortened recall, just enough to keep him alive there. And for the side of MG Blaze, they've switched up their strategy. In the round robin, we've seen them constantly run 4-1 or 1-3-1, and in the playoffs right now, they're running this five-man death ball, and it's working really well for them. And I think 100 Weeps needs to adapt to that 5-man fight right now. Ajax has not been present in the last couple of team fights, so it's been 5v4s, and with a Maokai, a Zac, and a Nautilus, they're not afraid to dive those turrets 5v4 right now, and it's working amazingly well for MG Blaze. They've won every fight they've initiated on open ground in the last 5-10 minutes.
Right. If anything, if Anja Weaves were to come back from this game, it's gonna have to be through finding the little picks and finding MG being split up. And for that to happen, they're definitely gonna need Ajax to actually group. Because if they don't get the group, I just don't see them winning any sort of picks or team fights. Even if it's a 4v2 or a 5v3, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, and they're finding it's going to be very difficult to find that sort of 2-3 person from MG Blaze just isolated on their own. They still have all their turrets standing. That means they have a lot of safety here. So 100 Weeds just to really stretch out, overextend to try and find picks on the side of MG Blaze though. They can play it safe. We do see MG Zyra right now still pushing, but he just pushes down past River, joins the rest of his team. And that's what they're constantly going to do. There's objectives, and they're just going to keep grouping up. Baron is up right now, but I don't think 100 Weeds wins this in an open fight. They'll need Baron's help to win this next fight at Baron itself.
Right, and just as you said, Zyra just always pushing it back in. It's just always creating pressure around the map, regardless if he's there or not. It just does a lot of damage. Puffin getting chunked down to half HP. That's a big one. That's a giant hook with the giant death charge, forcing Kane all to go through, and now Kappa Crusader is not gonna be the one to live here this time around. CPEC securing his 5th kill of the game, and now they're gonna look for the end.
Yeah, and that's really rough for 100 Weaves. This is probably going to be game here. Only Ajax and Sharp Honor left alive, but Ajax is no longer among the ranks of the living, has joined the ranks. Then it's going to be a second before Dewey comes up, and Dewey can't hold this alone. And MG Blaze is really healthy, has a lot of their summoners available, has the key command shockwave there available. But it's going to be
very close. Equalizer coming through, and now the kind of a wombo combo coming through. It's just Sharp Otter Puffing going extremely low. Kappa Crusader able to heal quarter, but MG Bubble Lift just chunking everyone down, and that will be the game of game 2. Great job coming out from MG Blaze here, just doing an incredible amount of damage, coordination, and better map positioning around the entire game.
Yeah, MG Blaze doing amazing work here. We knew that they were good at team fighting. We've seen it constantly where the bottom side of the map team fights as 4v5 sometimes. And yeah, now that they've got Dirty Hobo join him, Dirty Hobo showing that he knows how to team fight. Again, second highest damage in the game for the second game in a row here. Dewey, though, managing to pull his damage numbers up a little bit, is higher than his support now, but it's still not enough to keep him alive. And you know, if I'm 100 Weaves right now, I'd be thinking for the next game, they need to switch up their composition altogether. They need to all in on team fights the way MG Blaze is, or they need to pick a composition which completely is not going to fight, and they need to not get picked, because that game fell apart on a lot of their players getting picked. Dewey getting caught in the jungle rotating, Kappa getting caught alone, Puffin trying to push out mid and getting hit. You know, that's not something 100 Weaves can afford to do. So if I was 100 Weaves right now, I'd be looking for just a full-on like 5v5 brawl, a full team fight composition where everybody can really get in there.
Yep. As we said, if they were to change something, it's gonna have to be definitely the way they play the game, because the way they've been playing right now, it's just that death ball is just way too much for 100 Weaves to deal with in any regards. And if they do, what type of team composition will they have to run?
The other option they can do is also just like have a really tanky front line, because right now a lot of players are getting caught. We've seen Puffin play Galio before. His Silas keeps getting banned, but either of those would be good champions who can survive getting picked, because we've seen them get picked, and then maybe put Dewey on something a little safer, a bit more range, a Jinx, a Caitlyn, a Tristana, something that he can, you know, stay at the back and not get picked. Because right now we see Kai'Sa, Draven, both short range ADCs. He's having problems laning with them, with the great hooks coming out from Ward Box and the really good make it rains from Bubble Lift. Something with range that can keep him a little safer might benefit the team.
Yep, as we prepare to get into game 3, we're gonna be heading into intermission. So for now, enjoy the music, and we'll catch you guys when we reach or get ready and gonna cast the picks and bans for game 3.